Okay, just making a video here for informational purposes about how to set up the Citizen ProMaster Land Series H100 movements. And this is the AT6085, which was the DLC, obviously blacked out version of the ProMaster Land, but it has the same movement. So we'll use this one as an example. And right here I just have a regular solar quartz with no perpetual calendar, no radio control. And here is a multiband 6 GW6900, so it does get the radio time signal, and it's solar obviously. And it did receive it last night, so that time is dead on to the millisecond right there. So actually, as we can see here, I pretty much set this one like 2 days ago, so it's also pretty accurate as far as the real time is right now. It's synced up with this one. But this one is about it's about 30 seconds fast, this one, because I haven't synced it in a few months. So let's go over a few of the functions about how this one works here, first of all. So ordinarily when setting it, you would do something like this. You can see when you pop out the crown, you just unscrew it, but you don't pull it out at all. You just unscrew it. And then if you push this button here once, which I'm going to do in a moment, this second hand here, which is red, will go to whatever time zone you have it set in. And if it goes to the 12 o'clock position right here, that means it's just set for the Japanese time zone, because this only receives the radio signal in Japan, nowhere else. And if you live anywhere else, you have to set it through an app on your phone, would be the easiest way. So let me press it, and I already know it's not set to Japan. It's actually set to my time zone here, which is UTC +3 in Eastern Europe. And it's going to come back being 6 hours behind Japan. So it's going to go to that spot right there past the 11. But let's press it and I will confirm that. Yep, there it is right there. One spot past the 11. And that means that this one is 6 hours behind Japan, and that's where it's set, which is exactly where I want it to be. Now you can do this when you sync it with the radio clock. You can just leave it set to here, and then set your emulator app set your time zone on your phone to Japan, and then run your emulator app, and it'll just sync it to the time in Japan. Excuse me, actually. No, what you would do is actually you would run the emulator app with your time zone in your real time zone. Excuse me, I said that wrong. You would have it set up in your real time zone, and then you would run the emulator app, and it would just basically think you're in Japan, but it set it to your local time wherever you are. But what I like to do is I like to change my time zone on my phone to Japan, so it's on Japanese time, and then run the emulator app, so it actually sets it to Japan, but it's set 6 hours back, so it automatically puts it in the time zone where I am. And I do that because if you ever travel with the watch, then if you're basing it off of where you're coming from, your local time, then you can just go do what I just did and pop out the crown, or not even pop it out, just unscrew it, hit that button, and then you can adjust back and forth how many hours difference it is from where you are. So it kind of makes it easier in that way. I mean, you could probably do the same thing if you just ran the app without changing your time zone to Japan. You could do the same thing, but I'm keeping it official, how it's supposed to run. Okay, and then also to do a manual reset on the entire movement, you would do the same thing as far as unscrewing the crown like I just did, except that you would pop it out 1, 2 positions. And then you would hold down that button. I'm using a toothpick here. You press that down and the button down here, which is the one that you use to radio sync it. You would hold both these buttons down for 4 to 5 seconds and then release. And that should reset the movement's positions. All the hand times and everything should be home zeroed in. And then you can just push the crown back in and screw it back in like so. But I might do another video on that if the person I'm making this video for decides that they feel like they need it. I've actually never needed to do that on any of these watches that I've had. Just didn't need it, but I think that one he has might need it because it's gonna need a new battery. Anyway, actually, I might have to wash this one. There's a little gunk on the bottom there. All right, yeah, I'll do that later though. Let's run the emulation just for example. So we have my girlfriend has this set up in Russian. Where's the settings on here? You know what? I'm not going to actually do it because I don't want to go into the settings on this phone and screw something up by changing the time zone because I think she has it set up completely. Yeah, it's all set up in Russian, so it might be difficult for me to... I don't even see the settings on here. It might be difficult for me to adjust this time zone on it anyway. Yeah, this is all in Russian. Okay, so what we would normally do though is you would change the time zone to Japan on your phone, and then you have on here, and you can pick between the two Japanese radio towers, the emulation of them. From my experience, it doesn't even matter which one you choose. One is a little quieter, I think, when you run it. I don't know if you can hear it right now. I'll turn up the volume on it. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. And even though it's coming out of the speaker right now down here, you really don't hear it that loud. And you can just run this as you normally would, which would be hitting this button right here, holding this down, and you hold it down. I'm not actually going to turn this off because I don't want it to actually set, but you'd hold it down and it goes to that 11 o'clock, and then quickly it's going to go to the 12 in a moment. Yeah, and it went right to the 12 now. Now it's actually receiving the radio signal. And this will take about anywhere from 3 to 7, 8 minutes at the most. I've never, depending on how clear the signal's coming through. But then it'll go to either the high, medium, or low positions right here, and that'll tell you it's receiving the signal. And you'll know it's finished because it'll just start ticking normally, and it should be obviously synced up with the time on your phone at that point. But I'm going to cancel this because I don't want it to actually go through. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. Now I have my real phone, the one that I'm actually recording this video on, that is already set up to kind of do this a lot easier. So I'll actually probably set it after I'm done making this video for real, because even though it's not that much off, actually, it's not even 30 seconds off, really. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I only do it like once every 3 or 4 months. I'll actually bother to go in there and set it. Can't really think of anything else I should talk about here. There was something I was thinking that I might need to add, but without going into resetting the movement entirely. There's some other functions I know that you can do when you pull out the crown and stuff to change the days of the week from Japanese to English and back and forth. That involves pulling out the crown, and I forget if you just pull it out. I think you pull it out one spot. You unscrew it, but then you pull it one more spot, and then you have to press that this button right up here at the top once, and it should switch the days of the week. But that information can be looked up online pretty easily. And then the second position, I think there's some other things. There's actually quite a few things that you can do with it, depending on if you pull the crown, if you just unscrew the crown, if you pull it out one spot, or if you pull it out all the way 2 spots. And then if you push these buttons in different combinations, you can do a lot of different things as far as controlling how the watch functions. But I really don't have to mess with any of those things ever, because I already, set it up, and hasn't had any issues since. So, but yeah, I thought I just washed this one, but it looks like there's a little residue down here. I don't know how to see if I can get that off. Maybe some glue. I don't know what that is. I don't know. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you.